She once believed love was meant to be endured, that if she stayed soft enough, patient enough, luminous enough, the other half of her soul would one day awaken and remember who they were together. She held space through silence. She loved through distance. She translated avoidance into fear, and fear into compassion. She waited. But time, sacred, honest time, revealed a deeper truth. Not every soul awakens in the same lifetime. The divine feminine felt it first in her body. The exhaustion no rest could heal. The ache of loving potential instead of presence. The quiet grief of being spiritually met, but emotionally abandoned. Her twin flame was not cruel. He was asleep, and she finally understood what love alone could not change. Awakening cannot be forced. Love cannot be dragged across thresholds the soul refuses to cross. So she stopped reaching, not in anger, not in bitterness, but in reverence for herself. She withdrew her energy gently, like a tide no longer crashing against closed shores. She gathered her light back into her own chest. She chose stillness over longing, clarity over hope, truth over fantasy. And in that moment, something sacred happened. The bond did not break, it completed. Because twin flames are not meant to imprison one another in cycles of waiting. They are meant to awaken individually, or bless and release each other with love. As she moved on, the divine feminine did not replace him. She returned to herself. She remembered that her worth was never meant to be validated by someone else's awakening. That her softness was not a resource to be depleted. That her devotion was not a debt owed to anyone who could not meet her fully. And when she chose herself, the universe responded. Life began sending her soul family. Not loudly, not all at once, but with divine precision. One arrived as a friend who listened without fixing, teaching her that her emotions were not burdens but sacred language. Another came as a mentor who reminded her of her power. Not the kind that sacrifices, but the kind that stands. One appeared as a steady presence who showed her consistency, replying, showing up, staying. Another crossed her path briefly, awakening her joy, her laughter, her sensuality, reminding her she was alive, magnetic, desired. Each soul carried a lesson. Each stayed only as long as needed. None demanded she shrink. None asked her to wait. They came to restore what had been depleted. Where the twin flame mirrored her wounds, the soul family mirrored her wholeness. Where she had once been unseen, she was now witnessed. Where she had once been emotionally alone, she was now supported. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, she changed. She no longer chased intensity. She no longer mistook longing for love. She no longer confused silence with depth. Her nervous system softened, her heart stabilized. Her boundaries became elegant, not defensive. This was the preparation. Because the universe does not send the divine counterpart until the divine feminine can receive love without self-betrayal. The soul family taught her how. Through laughter, she relearned joy. Through honesty, she relearned trust. Through consistency, she relearned safety. Through clean endings, she relearned that love does not need to wound to be real. And one day, she realized something quietly profound. She was no longer waiting. She was living. That was the signal. When the right divine counterpart begins to approach, it does not arrive as chaos. It feels familiar but calm, magnetic but steady, deep but grounded. By then, the divine feminine no longer asks, will he awaken? She asks only, does this love meet me where I am? Because she has already been loved by the universe itself, through every soul who came to remind her of who she is. Somewhere, her twin flame feels the shift, not as punishment, but as a mirror, the absence of her energy, the silence where unconditional love once cushioned avoidance, the echo of what could have been, had awakening been chosen. And that too is divine. Because the highest form of love is not endless waiting. It is knowing when to bless, release, and rise. The divine feminine walks forward now. Not hardened, not closed, not bitter, but sovereign. She carries the lesson, not the wound. The wisdom, not the longing. The flame, not the chain. And the universe whispers softly as she goes. You did not lose your twin flame. You fulfilled the contract. You gathered your soul family. And you chose yourself, just in time to be met.